Hi all, welcome back. Happy New Year. I'm Ali Valor. This is my law partner Alex Carl.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good week. Hope everyone, we're here in LA right now, so we're dealing with these crazy wildfires. Hope everyone's safe and yeah, we'll pull through. Stay strong.
Yes. So while the fires are going on, raids are in LA. Ice raids are going on up in Kern County and Bakersfield. So we've had reports of ICE agents showing up at various farms, really harassing farm workers and businesses, going to people's homes in Kern County and asking for papers. And that creates a huge issue for farm workers as well as farm owners.
Yeah, the employers and employees. We're here to talk about a little bit, I guess, what you can do if that happens, right? First off, it sounds like they're doing field visits, so literally going out to the farm and then talking to these farm workers while they're on the field and probably asking them if they have forms of identification and or a proof of their legal status here in the U.S. Would you agree with that, Ali?
Yeah, and it's important to note that when ICE agents show up, right, to your doorstep, especially, let's say to your doorstep, they need to have a proper warrant signed by a judge and not a deportation officer. So absolutely, you don't need to let them in. You can see what documents they have, and if the warrant that they have, if the search warrant that they have is not signed by a judge or someone, then you don't really need to let them in at all. You can tell them to go get a warrant by a judge and close the door.
Right. So again, just to reiterate, that is if they do come to your house, your place of residence, and or likely, I would imagine, place of employment if you have an office or an office building.
Correct.
They're going to need a proper warrant to come in. If not, tell them to come back, and you'd be happy to talk to them once they have a warrant. Now, it's a little bit different if they show up on, let's say, the field. So if they're working out in the farms and they're on a field, then it sounds like technically they do have a right to come up to those workers and ask them for proof of legal status. And if they do not have proof of your legal status here in the U.S., they can detain you, take you in to an ICE detention center, and book you and process you to see if you are here legally.
Right. So the question that they would probably ask is, are you a U.S. citizen? And of course, if you're not, you can't say you are because that's a violation all by itself. So the only thing you can do at that point, you can give them your name. That's something you can do. But beyond that, talking to them and expressing your feelings or the reasons why you're working at the farm, etc., it's really counterproductive. It does no service. They will probably take you in to verify for themselves if you are in fact documented or not. And unfortunately that's what happens, and that's what we expect to happen more and more after January 20th. And that has consequences for the individual who's being taken and also for the business owner, the farm owner, the foreman, whoever did the hiring. So we want to talk about really briefly on both sides. On the foreign national, the individual, all you can do is to cooperate and tell them your name, and that's it. No other information. And they're going to take you, process you, perhaps detain you even. But that's why you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan to have an immigration attorney on speed dial so they can take over from that point on. What are the consequences for employers, the farm owners?
Yeah, I mean, just to circle back a little bit on what you're saying with the employees first is, if you are a permanent resident or citizen, you may want to bring with you to work proof of such. So if someone does come and do a field check, an ICE officer does a field check, you can show them that you are a permanent resident, U.S. citizen, and then they're not going to, book you and take you in to process you. So that's one thing you can do. If you're not, they're not going to drive you across the border. They'll probably issue a notice to appear in court, and then that's when you would want to call someone like us so we can hopefully give you some advice and maybe possibly even represent you in immigration court. But in regards to the employer side, I mean, that more goes to the I-9 issue of, you may want to do a little internal I-9 audit of your system to see if all your I-9s were filled out properly, who may or may not have status, so you're not kind of taken by surprise if these field checks do happen.
And we're happy to do that verification for you. In fact, we get hired quite often to do that for employers of all sizes, small and large, farms and non-farms. So that's that's a service that we do offer, and we encourage you to contact us if you need that internal audit, so you can expect, so you know what to expect from moving forward, especially after January 20th of 2025.
Definitely. And so this isn't really to instill fear. It's just kind of letting you know what's going on so you can be prepared. And, if you have any questions, give us a call. We're here to help.
Thank you, and Happy New Year again.
Yeah, thank you.